Hey everyone, it's Rick Carson and we're at the beautiful Make Believe Studios, and today I want to touch on something that's been going around the internet and has been sent to my phone plenty of times, enough times that we thought we should address it. MixHead is not just a wave shaper, and I want to show you a little bit of a more in-depth analysis than other people are doing on the internet to express kind of what's happening. So one, we went and we took the settings that came from the video that's been going around and we matched them up inside of Plugin Doctor, and we grabbed MixHead, we turned off the high frequency adjust because nothing inside of MSaturator can recreate something like that. And from there, we just looked at the dynamic and THD component of what's happening inside of MixHead. And if you set it up to the point where the level is low enough that it's not actually going and hitting the dynamics processing too much and is just hitting the distortion, well, you can see that some things do tend to line up, but not exactly. So you can see here at roughly 250 hertz that this is the closest they come to matching. And even if you were to zoom far in, they do diverge a little bit up at the top. And if you can see, as we go down to 100 hertz, they still match pretty well. But as we go up, as we get to 5.8K, you can see that they start to diverge, and the dynamics definitely diverge even further by 14K. So not only do they not match at all frequencies, but also they don't match at all levels because of the dynamics processing that's happening inside of MixHead. You can see that as you turn the level up on both of these units, they don't ever really come back together at all, except for at that one particular setting. And if you drive it even further, you can see that the frequency response starts to change because of the frequency dependent processing that's happening inside of MixHead. But if you were really driving it this hard, you'd be well past the point of distortion. The next thing that I want to bring up is that not only do they not happen to match at multiple levels, they also don't happen to match at multiple places in the frequency response. And I think that that's very interesting because there's something that it reminds me of, which is music. Music happens to be multi-level and dynamic, and it also happens to go pretty much from the lowest to the highest ranges of our hearing. And that is something that is very hard to represent in a test. You have to run multiple tests, which is what we've done here. The next thing that I want to show you is, while the dynamics aren't really matching up, neither does the distortion that's generated by MixHead. And some of this distortion is generated from the actual distortion processor inside of the plugin, but some of this distortion is also generated by the interaction between that distortion processor and the dynamics modules inside of MixHead. So let's go ahead and look at these Hammerstein graphs, and you can see here that in MSaturator, all of the distortion that's generated is completely static. It's flat lines all the way across, where the frequency dependent dynamics processor that happens inside of MixHead, you can see creates dynamic distortion that happens. And also, if you go and watch these things, you can see in this video that the distortion that is generated in real time with musical content isn't the same. It's not like they show up exactly the same and they're overlaying each other perfect, because they don't. They don't match up harmonically and they don't match up dynamically. And here's where it gets more interesting to me, is that if you play musical content through them, they don't null. So listen to a little bit of this. And you can see when the music drops below the dynamic threshold that, sometimes it nulls pretty deep. Not a complete null, but there is things disappearing. But then also when things pop over, like this S in particular right here, when it pops over that threshold, it comes through loud and clear because there is a dynamic component to what MixHead does in the top end and across the whole frequency range. At the end of the day, we don't want people to feel like they've been bamboozled because not enough people have vetted information that they saw in a video on YouTube. We want people to come and get the facts. So we hope that we could provide some of those for you today. Thank you again for checking this out, and we hope this clears up some stuff that's going around. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to let us know. Have a great day.